Hi, I'm Carol and I work on product at Conote. I'm so excited to show you the app and tell you a little bit about how it makes me a more impactful user researcher. I'll get started by creating a new project, giving it a name. I can add goals here. And because Conote seeks to reduce bias in the research process, these goals won't influence what the app identifies as a theme in your work, but it will help us rank content based on what might be most useful to you and your research goals. Next, I'll upload some files for synthesis. And before to do any of this work, I would have to chase my files around via downloads to re-upload into some software. And here, because Kono integrates directly with Zoom and Google Drive, I can find my relevant content quickly, boom, 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 select it, and upload so quick. I also wanted to share that Kono has really changed the way I show up during a user call. Because I know the app is going to measure the similarity between the content of each transcript. It allows me to be more flexible and present during calls. Instead of scribbling down my timestamps and trying to make sure I capture everything, I can really be present, be more flexible, and I can pay attention to inconsistencies, shift in mood, anything that's going to help me drive towards insight. Once I've got all of the data that I want to include, I hit synthesize and sit back while Kono connects the dots between these conversations for me. Previously, this work would include a lot of manual coding, rewatching interviews for key moments, and cross checking my notes, which took a lot of time. And on top of that, more often than not, I would have several interviews in a row where I'd be hopping between projects. So I'd end up having to return to the transcript or video a couple days later to recontextualize myself in the conversation before I could even begin my analysis. And sometimes this would happen even a few days post interview, which was adding bias to my process and would usually hang over my head and make me less productive. And I know that this is common for a lot of user researchers. Kono really helps me get to the important bits more quickly. Here you can get kind of a sense for how Kono comes alongside me to help me process findings quicker and more efficiently. If you think of each individual transcript as a terrain of potential insight, Kono acts as a wayfinder because its AI identifies key parts of this conversation and elevates them in the transcript. So if I'm scrolling through and trying to place myself in the conversation, my eyes jump quickly to the most interesting bits. Here we can see the themes and keywords that Conote has identified that connect each of these individual files. And this is where the power of AI synthesis can really help you knock it out of the park, because the connection between each individual piece of data is where actionable insights lie. And Kono comes alongside you to take all of these bits and pieces and help you start to build a bigger picture. And what that looks like is a map that you can share with your team to sort of chart the path towards progress sooner. One of the hardest parts of being a user researcher is maintaining a strategic perspective while being able to dive deeper and provide really detailed context for each of the points you're making. And Kono helps me do that. Here on the themes and keywords page, I can select any of these themes and dig deeper. I can view each of these quotes in context by clicking the transcript. And here on the right, it is pre-populated as a quote and a clip that I can bookmark for use. And honestly, all of that clipping used to take me forever to do in my previous process. And now, because I'm not spending that time making the perfect clip or highlighting the perfect piece of the transcript, I can use that time for strategic insights, empathy building, honestly, more impactful work. All of these features really work in concert to help me as a researcher drive my story forward and get my findings heard. Another way that Kono helps you do this is with chart functionality. In this tab, you can build both simple and complex charts to quantify your data if someone on your team really resonates with numbers. So I love a simple frequency chart. I can click that and Kono will build it out for me. Speaking of showing, I will wrap up by showing you Konote's story feature. Formatting a deck used to take me forever, and I would put off getting started. And the app helps me drive right to my story by embedding key moments from my calls and keeps users at the center of my conversation without any frills. There are a couple other stories features that I'm just really obsessed with. Conote knows that it's important for you to protect the anonymity of your participants. So once I've added a quote that is pre-clipped, I've already saved a bunch of time. I can toggle down to the bottom and toggle off any information that I don't want to share in my presentation. So I can protect my participants. I can click off the video snippet if people don't have time to listen to it from the horse's mouth. All of this just makes my deck building go super fast. And then from there, I can share it out by copying a link. In other platforms that I was using as a user researcher, often my teammates would have to make an account just to view my work. And that made it hard to take all of my research through the finish line. So with Kono, you can just copy the link and they can view it no matter what. And if I'm worried about sharing sensitive information, I can password protect it using this cute little lock here. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to head over to conote.ai to check out how the tool redefines research. Bye.